Hello there, my name is Liambughood. I am a 16-year-old phonograph collector from Pennsylvania, and this is my video series, Phonographs for Dummies, all about the operation, restoration, and maintenance of antique phonographs. Today, I'm going to show you how to clean and basically restore a wooden phonograph cabinet, specifically the finish on this here Edison gem cover. I'm going to be cleaning it off a bit and just kind of showing you the gist of the process, and also going over what you need to do it. So, first thing, 4/0 steel wool pads. You can get these at really any hardware store, you know, True Value, Ace Hardware, Home Depot, maybe Lowe's, and yeah, so 4/0 steel wool, 4 zeros. Next, you're going to need Gojo hand cleaner. I believe you can get this at some hardware stores. Most probably carry it. I think Home Depot does, True Value does. I don't know about Ace, but yeah, it's non-pumice hand cleaner. It's kind of like a white cream like that. It looks like kind of like pudding, and you can find it in most hardware stores. And if you can't find Gojo specifically, there is another brand called Goop, which is basically the same thing, so that works too. And then Howard's Restore Finish. This is maple pine. It basically it restores color to faded wood finishes. And yeah, you can find it in most hardware stores. I got this at Home Depot. It's pretty expensive though. It's about like 15 bucks. But yeah, and I use maple pine on oak finishes because it doesn't darken the wood and looks pretty nice. But you can of course choose whatever stain you want to use. And then of course I buy Howard's Feed and Wax. This is like a kind of like a beeswax kind of liquid, and I bought this from Home Depot, but you can probably get it from like other hardware stores. And Brian Parlier, who's the owner of the Phonograph Shop website, sells this stuff in different amounts. This is a 16-ounce container. I think he sells 8-ounce containers, or either 16-ounce and like a 4-ounce or 8-ounce. I'm not sure, but he sells that. So you know, buy from him, support Brian. I think he also sells Restore Finish, 4/0 steel wool, and cotton cleanser, which I believe is a similar product to Gojo, but I don't know if they're the same. I haven't used cotton cleanser myself, but it is quite pricey, more expensive than Gojo. So that's basically the materials you need. So yeah, I'm going to show you basically what you got to do to clean a phonograph cabinet. So first off, get a pad, get a steel wool pad, and then you're going to want to wipe any, I just wipe any dust or anything off, and then get the Gojo, and just kind of take a bit on it, give a little bit, not a lot, but some, and just lightly coat the cabinet, whatever parts you're cleaning, or whatever portions of the cabinet you're cleaning, lightly coat it in Gojo. You don't want to be too rough, because obviously steel wool, you don't want to damage the finish, and of course be careful of parts where the cabinet is, where the veneer is basically sticking out and peeling off, because as you can see, ripped off a bit of the steel wool. So, you know, be careful of that. You know, in that case, just rub the opposite direction. And of course, get around decals. I don't suggest going over decals with Gojo, not steel wool, or steel wool, really. I just avoid them. So, you know, for the portions around the decal, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my finger and kind of just rub it in around it, because I don't want to damage that decal. That's the original decal on it. It can, I believe, take the color away from them and possibly completely remove them. So, yeah, no, just be careful. Try and get in that area. You can go over it very lightly, but, you know, don't go overkill on it. So, I got this side coated in Gojo, and I'm going to need a towel to wipe off my hand. And you are also going to need a towel, or a rag, or shirt, or washcloth, really anything. I'm just using a washcloth. And I'm going to take it and just get the other side, put a little bit more on. Just going to rub it in lightly. Don't overdo it. Don't be too rough, obviously. And rub like somewhat in the direction of the grain. It's kind of hard to tell on this cover, so it just kind of doesn't have a direction; it just goes down. So just lightly coat it. Now, I'm gonna let this sit for about 5 to 10 minutes. So what time is it now? Let me check. I do not know what time it is now. I can't see on my phone because I'm recording. But yeah, just let it sit for a couple minutes. Maybe go, like, grab something to eat. You know, just do anything. Just occupy your time and let it kind of just soak in. So I'm going to let it sit and I'll come back. Alright, let's see. There we go. Alright, so I'm back. I've let the gojo basically sink in. And now I'm going to take a washcloth. I'm just going to wipe it all down. Wipe it down. Try not to hit any of the peeling veneer. You're getting that little crack there. And of course, I do recommend getting Q-tips if there are holes in the cabinet, like in the top here, where these where the handle studs are supposed to go. I'd recommend getting Q-tips and putting those through there so you can clean the gojo out if there are little chunks, little bits in there. But yeah, and so the cabinet, you can tell, is maybe like a shade lighter. It doesn't always immediately clean it, and get it as light as other parts. Like, you can tell there's clearly a difference between this part of the wood and that part, and that's just kind of how it is. Sometimes I found I need to put it on basically once or twice. Usually twice does the job, but yeah. So I'm gonna keep applying gojo, but you know, just to demonstrate, I'm just gonna show you, or kind of explain what I would do if I was done with the gojo. So next I would take steel wool pad, not this one that's used for the gojo. I would take the Restore finish, put it on the steel wool pad, pour a little bit on, and then I wipe it in the direction of the grain. So if the grain is going this way, I'd wipe that way. And of course, I wouldn't be aggressive, don't want to damage the finish, just like with the gojo. And then I'd let that sit for about 30 minutes, and then usually I'd either wipe down or kind of just get it dry, okay? And that usually kind of sort of restains the wood, adds a little color back, adds a little life back to it, I guess. And so then I take the feed and wax and I shake it up because it's a bit chunky if it's been sitting for a while, and this has. I haven't used it in maybe like a week or two. So shake it up, I pour it onto a steel wool pad, and then I wipe in the direction of a grain. And then I let that sit for another 30 minutes, and then I wipe it off, and it's good. And it's pretty good technique. It's worked for me for most of my machines I've cleaned up. Worked well for my Victrola, and yeah, the feed and wax is basically just a polishing and to protect it. You can also use, I believe, lemon oil. I have that in my room. I've never tried it before. Might try it eventually. I've heard that's good. Other solutions, if you don't want to go with the gojo, gojo is can be a bit harsh on the wood. You gotta be careful, you know, obviously with decals. So if you want, you can use, what is it? A New Life furniture mask. Wyatt Marcus, he's my friend. He recommends using that. It is a bit expensive. It's about 20 bucks plus like shipping, because you have to buy it straight from like the manufacturer. So it's a bit out of my price range, and not accessible, but I've seen it, and it looks like it does wonders for cabinets, so I'm going to have to try it eventually. But, you know, if you want to go a different route than the gojo, you know, hand cleaner, goop, or whatever, do that. You know, there's also cotton cleanser. Can't speak for how that works, but yeah, I can speak for how this method works. And I'll show you one of my machines that I have fully cleaned and restored with this method in just a moment. This is my Victrola the 4th. I actually use the gojo and gojo and Restore finish and feed and wax on this, and yeah, this is what it looks like. Brings out the grain on it very prominently. You can see it's a polished gold oak finish. Looks very nice. It was a lot darker when I first got it. Looked almost mahogany, but yeah, I used that method and got it all cleaned up, and this is how it looks. And of course, that is a rebuilt exhibition that I just rebuilt. I actually filmed this video after the next video, which is going to be about rebuilding exhibitions. I already filmed that. But yeah, this is what it can do to clean up your cabinets. So yeah, I hope this video was informational and I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good night and or a good day.